I've been working on my Metroidvania Lightblade as a part of a 3-month game jam. It's been 1 month, so I decided to show off a few features. I already talked about the first 2 weeks in my previous videos, so I'm not gonna go too in depth, but in short, I made a character, made the first room, added HP, hazards, room transitions, and the buff system. More explanations in their respective videos. Now let's take a look at what I accomplished during the second half of the month. I did say that I would reanimate the character, but as I started doing that, I realized I would rather jump back in the abyss, so later work I suppose. Instead, I added currency and the main menu. At first, I kinda wanted to make my own font, but I realized that no one does this, so I found the ones that Hollow Knight uses and put them in. And so I started working. And after an entire half an hour of work, I landed on this design for the currency. You might ask how it took me half an hour to make a blurry circle, but art is subjective, so what I made here is actually the purest form of art. I decided to call them sparks and put them in Unity. Next, coding. I needed to make them bounce around and be affected by gravity in a satisfying way. Now, you might ask, isn't gravity and bouncing like a pre-built thing in Unity? Well, yeah, but I can make my own physics. Attempt 1 and it went straight through the ground. Attempt 2 and it is not bouncing. Attempt 3 and it worked. Yeah, not quite believing it either. So I made it increase the spark counter when you collect it, made some more different values, and started to work on replicating the system that Hollow Knight uses to display the amount of geo that you have and the one that you just collected. I think it ended up pretty good. Then I replicated the system to work both on losing sparks and gaining them, and now the currency is done. I can collect sparks and use them. Next, and possibly the more important thing, is the main menu, because we really can't call this a game if we can't change the brightness. This will be the one and only separate scene in the game, so I made a new scene, made a title, a sword, added glow, and started working on some buttons. The first one was the start button, then a settings button from which the volume settings only required me to add bars. For now it is kinda useless because I don't have sound, but when I do, this will be peak. Next came the brightness. This bar allows me to control the brightness of the game. Next I made a window size setting, which doesn't work now because I am in the Unity editor, but once again, if I make a build, it should work fine. With this, the menu is starting to feel pretty complete, but there was one more setting, the control preview. Now we can see the controls. If I have time in the future, I will make this changeable, but for now it works. I added the quit button. This is another one that doesn't work for now, but once I will make a build of the game, it should work. Next thing to add for the main menu are saved settings. If I want to reopen Lightblade, the settings should be the exact same as I left them. Luckily, for this exact thing, Unity has something called player preferences, which I can use to save settings forever. Now, I need to add a copy of the menu in the game so I can press escape and leave or change a setting. This was a rather easy thing, aside from Unity not allowing me to use buttons freely. I won't bore you with this, it was a pretty painful 4 hours of my life. Okay, I really feel like I need to take a break from the coding and menu creation. Maybe I could make the music for the main menu? Considering the fact that this is the first time I've made music, I'm shocked it sounds like music at all, so in the menu it goes. And now changing the volume actually does something. Now that's what I call progress. But of course I couldn't stop right here. I made a cursor, which is pretty nice, and I want to make the menu navigation possible with just pressing buttons on my keyboard. It took a long time to get it to work right, but I did figure it out and feels really nice to have it as an option. Then I had to just add it to the regular game menu too, which did not take that long. And with that is the end of the month. I did not think the menu would take this much time, and it's still not quite done. In total I spent 30 hours on the things I showed off in this video, so please show your appreciation by liking. Game dev is literally killing me. The next video will show off month 2 out of 3 of progress, so if you like this video, subscribe and I'll see you there.